So welcome to the day 3 of training CCNA 200-301. Today we are going to discuss about a very important topic which is subnetting. And before that, let me help you recall what we learned yesterday. So we discussed about different classes of IP, and class A, class B and class C were there for which were available there for public use. Class A ranges from 0 to 127. And then we have class B, which starts from 128 and ends at 191. Then we have class C from 192 to 223. So these are the ranges which are available there for public use. And with these ranges, we have some default prefixes. Yes, we cannot use 0 and 127. 0 is used for default routing and 127 is used by some protocols for multicasting purposes. So the usable range of class A is 1 to 126. However, 0 and 127 are still part of class A only. So let's learn now about prefix. So the prefix for class A is n.h.s.h. Then we have class B, which is 2 octates are there for network and rest 2 are for host. Then for class C, it is n.n.n.h. So n represents the network part of the IP address. Then we have h for host part. This represents the host octates of the IP address. Now, today what we are going to learn is subnetting. We discussed yesterday about default subnet mask, which were 255.0.0.0 for class A, then 255.255.0.0 for class B, and 255.255.255.0 for class C. Now, today we are going to make some changes in these subnet masks so that we can do subnetting.
If you enjoyed the content of the video, don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel.
Okay. So before moving to subnetting, I want you to understand something, how to determine whether the IP address is from class A, B or C. I saw this yesterday, it was being discussed in the group. So you just have to look at the octet number 1. So let's take an example. We have an IP address of 12.128.150.1. So we just have to look at the value of octet number 1. And when we look at the ranges, which is from 0 to 127, then 128 to 191, then 192 to 223, we just have to check in which range is 12 available there. So we can when we look at the value of octet number 1, we can identify this that it belongs to class A. Similarly, if we talk about an IP address of class C, 192.168, so we just have to look at the octet number 1. We'll check the value of octet number 1. We'll find whether it is from class A, class B, or class C. So as we can see, 192 belongs to class C. So it's a class C IP address. So this is how you can identify the class of the IP address. Now, yesterday I also told you about something called /8 /16 /24. With the IP address of class A, we use /8, and with an IP address of class B, we use /16, and when we have IP address of class C, we use /24. Now this slash is known as classless interdomain range. So classless interdomain range is represented with a slash. So instead of using the whole name, you can just simply put a slash and write the network bits of IP address, which are 8 for class A, 16 for class B, then 24 for class C. Now, when we look at the network bits of class A, we have n.h.h. So out of this, we can conclude that, let me write this for class B and C also. Now, when we look at the network bits of these classes, we can conclude that the minimum networks, there are minimum networks in class A and maximum networks in class C. And when it comes to host, class A has the maximum host and class C has the minimum. And when it comes to class B, so here network and host are equal to each other. So this is something you can keep in mind while configuring any network. So in case if you have a large number of hosts on which you have to configure the IP address, so you shall be using a IP address from class A. And in case if there is a small network and hosts are not more than 255, then you can use a class C address, or accordingly you can select your class range for the IP address you want to configure on your devices. Now we will understand something, how to use the IP range completely. So yesterday we took an example of students sitting in a class, and we gave them an IP from 192.168.10.1 to 192.168.10.100. Now the question is, what about IP from 192.168.10.101 to 192.168.10.254? What about these IPs? So in order to avoid the wastage of these IPs, we do subnetting. We put a mask between IP ranges so that the same IP range can be used for multiple, we can say, locations or for multiple departments. So let's understand this more specifically. Let's say there is a building, and on this building there are multiple floors for different departments. Let's say this is the HR department. Again, on the next floor we have HR department, then we have marketing department, and after that, on the last floor, we have sales. So let's say the HR department requires 50 PC on each floor. Then on the marketing department, we have a need of 100 PCs. Here also 100 PCs. And at last, at the sales, we have a need of 50 PCs. Now, you want to configure the network in such a way that HR department can talk to each other. These 50 PCs can communicate with each other, but they cannot communicate with marketing or the sales department. So you have to configure something like this, that no communication can be made between these departments, and but they can still communicate with each other. So in that case, what best I can think of as of now is, uh, for example, let's suppose that I configured 192.168.1.0 network on this floor, then 192.168.2.0 on this floor. Then here I configured 192.168.3.0, and similarly 4.0. And at last, so in this case, I want you to answer this in the chat, that whether HR department will be able to communicate with this floor, or the other department of HR, or with marketing department, or with any other department sitting on different floors. Correct. So I can see no from everyone, and that's very correct. They cannot communicate with each other since they are in different ranges of IP addresses. This solves the problem, this solves our issue, but at the same time, 192.168.1.50, okay, so IP from 1.1 to 1.50 will be used, and in this case also, till 2.50 the IPs will be used. Here 3.100, then here also we have 4.100, and at last 5.50. Though it satisfy the requirement, but at the same time, there is a huge wastage of IP addresses. Now, why do we have to like avoid wasting IP addresses? The first question which comes to my mind. So when it comes to IP addresses, there are two types of IP addresses. The first one we have is private, then we have public. There are different ranges for these IP addresses. So the private ones are the free ones. By free, I mean that you can configure them on any device. But when it comes to public, which are used to have an access over the internet, these are paid ones. So yesterday I showed you something, some continental based organization which take cares of assignment of IP addresses. So it was same. You have to assign, you have to like apply for IP address, and they assign you, and you have to pay the monthly or some annual rent for that IP address, for using that IP address. So these are the paid ones. So this is the reason why we do subnetting, and we have to like make sure that no IP address is getting wasted, or we can say the least number of IP addresses are there remaining in the range. Now we will understand how we can use the same IP range to avoid the wastage. And like in this case, we have HR on this on two different floors. So we could have used the same IP range, which is 192.168.1.1 till 1.50 on this floor, on this floor. Then after that, from 1.51 from 1.51 to 1.100 on this floor. So we'll now understand this, how it works, and what are the requirements which we have to keep in mind, so that a subnet mask can be found in particularly. Okay. So now let's take the same example. Let's say we have an IP address from class C. It doesn't have to be starting from 190 to 168. This is just an example. This is mostly used, and you can use any number, or any value for the first octet. It doesn't have to be 192. So let's say we take the IP 200.10.10.0. Now this is the range of IP address, and you have to assign this range to 50 PCs. So you have to somehow calculate the subnet mask in such a way that only 200.10.10.1 to 200.10.10.50. Only these IP gets in use, and the rest of them can be used later on in some other, let's say in some different lab or on different floor. So we'll understand how this works. So first of all, when it comes to class C, we have 24 bits of network and 8 bits of host. Now, whenever you do subnetting, I would suggest you to write the master formula as it helps a lot. We will just keep a table here on the right side, and let's see how this works. So 2 square, we have 4. Okay. So now we have a requirement of 50 PCs, which means there has to be 50 hosts, at least 50 hosts within the network. So let me know which is the closest number to 50. I mean, it has to be greater than 50 in this table. 64, correct. So when we look at 64, we find that only 6 bits are supposed to be used in the IP address for the host part. So yes, the question is why not 32? Why not 32? Because we have to at least assign the 50 PCs. We have to assign IP address to at least 50 PCs. So it has to be greater than 50. If we take 32, then only 32 PC will have IP. And after that, the rest of the 18 PCs won't have IP address. So we have to always look at the greater one. Okay. Now, to do subnetting, we need few things. And the very first thing which we need to do subnetting is number of networks. Then we have number of hosts. Then after that, the subnet mask. And the last one, the range. (32) then network will divide. Please check an example. Sure, we will do a few other examples also, and after that, I will give you some IP addresses which you would have to solve. So don't worry, we will practice the whole subnetting today, and we'll do this deeply. So now these are the requirements which are there for doing subnetting, and we have to keep few things in mind. So for number of networks, you can simply put 2, and to the power of 2, you have to write the number of on bits. Now let's understand something. If we talk about the default network and host bits, then we have 24 and 8, right? Now, when we look at the requirement, we need 6 host bits. Then rest of the bits can be given to the network one. So we will take 6 here, we will subtract 6, then we get 2, and we will put this 2 in the network part. So we get network host, we get 26 here and 6 here. Now, if we calculate the binary form of this, we will get 11111111 The first octet will be the on octet. Then we have again 8 times 1. Then again 8 times 1. And once you are done with the 24 bits, which is the default part of network in the class C IP address, you can look at the borrowed ones. So we have 2 borrowed bits. We will turn on 2 bits and the rest of bits will be remain 0. Now, if you calculate this on the same master formula, you will get your subnet mask. But we will look into this later, and we will just now try to find out the number of networks and number of host parts. So for the number of hosts, you have to keep a 2. Then after that, you have to put the power with the number of off bits. So we will take number of off bits here and we'll see the result. Then for subnet mask, we can just simply put this into the master formula and get the subnet mask. So now for number of off bits, we can see the 0 are 6 in number. So we will just simply put 2 raised to the power 6 and we get 64. So which we already found before putting this into the formula. But this is how you can do this from the formula. And when we talk about the number of networks, we have to just simply put the number of on bits, which are borrowed ones. You have to keep this in mind. You just have to put the borrowed ones. You don't have to put the whole 26 bits as the power of 2. You just have to put 2 square. I mean the 2 bits which we have borrowed from the host part, and we get 4 here. So there will be 4 different networks. Now let's try calculating the subnet mask. If we take all 8 bits as on, we get the maximum number, which is 255. Then again we have all 8 bits on, then again 255. Similarly, for octet number 3, we have 255. Then we have 2 bits on, then the rest of them are 0. So if we take the first and second bit as on and sum them up, we will get 192. So this will be our subnet mask. Now let's learn how to find the range. So the very first IP address from this range would be 200.10.10.1. Now we have 64 bits. So this is very simple. We'll go to 200.10.10.64. Now the second range will be from 200.10.10.65, and you can simply put add 64 to this and you will get 129. Okay. Yes, Dilkhush, you are very correct that you cannot use 64 since it would be the network, the broadcast ID of the range. But I'm just telling you the range of division of the IP addresses. So we are just learning this as of now, and we will look into that later on. Then we have 10.10.130, and you can add 64 to this, so you will get 194. So this is how you can subnet the mask, and you will be able to use the IP address to its fullest use. Next check. Okay, I made a mistake here. Yes, you are correct. Correct, Shubham. This has to be from 10.1 to 63. Then here we have from 64 to 128. Then from 129 to 10.60. Okay. Yes, guys, I wrote 64 by mistake. Okay, let me explain it once again. Sure. Now I would request you to please focus here. So I yesterday told you about something called network ID, network ID, and the broadcast ID. So the first IP of a range is known as network ID of the range, and after that, if we talk about the broadcast ID, it's the last IP of the range. So in any range, when let's see the first range we had for 64 hosts, the usable IPs will be total number of hosts which are there in the range minus 2. Why minus 2? The one IP will be used for the network ID and the other IP will be used for the broadcast ID. I hope you are this is much clear now and it makes sense. Are you guys able to understand this now? Perfect. So the very first IP for the range would be 200.10.10.0. Okay, which will be the network ID for the range, and the last will be 200.10.10.63. Now this range covers 64 hosts, but only 62 IPs can be used out of these. To the power of n, subtract from it. Only 62 so I hope this is clear now. Only 62 IPs can be used out of this range. Then after that, we have 200.10.64. Perfect. Then we have till 200.10.10.127. Then the third range will be from 128 to 190. Then from 200.10.10.191 to 200.10.4. So these will be the ranges for IP address. And when you calculate these ranges, so you will find out that only 50, I mean, the 50 IP address will be can be used out of this, and the rest of them can be used. Like if we talk about the first range, there are 64 hosts available, and out of these 62 can be used. Okay. So out of these 62 can be used. Here we had a requirement of 50 PCs. So now, okay. So guys, I am sorry. This is from 192. I wrote this wrong. So the range is ending at 191. So the second one will start from 192. Great. So now you can see wastage is much less than before. Earlier, when around 150 IPs were getting wasted, now the case is different. Now we have only 62 host IP addresses which are there to be assigned to host, and out of these 50 will be in use, and the rest of them can be kept as a buffer for future use. Let's say in case in future you connect some more PCs there in the lab, then you can use the rest of the IPs there. Okay, so now let's understand this more specifically with a different example, and let's see how it works. And I would request you guys to please focus while I am helping you to learn this instead of putting answers. So it makes me also confused when I look at the chat, and it will help me and you also to understand this better. So let's see the same with another example. If you guys want, you can just write this down. I'm giving you a few minutes before erasing this. if you want, you can write this. Yes, Ranjan, you can simply add 64 to the number and you will get the last IP. Sure, we will do this again with a different example, and I hope you will be able to understand at that time. Okay. Then range is okay. So Ranjan, what is happening here is when you look at the very first range, which is from 0 to 10.63, if you add 64 to 0, you will get 64. However, when you simply add the number 64 to the range, you miss the very first IP, which is there. So similarly, when you take the range number 2, and if you just simply count the number of IPs, you will get 64 only. So there's nothing wrong in this. And you can like check this by counting this. So what I'm trying to say here is when you add 64 to 0, you get 64. But the actual IP address will be 65 because 0 is also being included in the range. So similarly, the same thing is happening here and here and here also. And you can just calculate the range by, oh, because if you cannot, yes, correct. Thanks, Shubham. So now let's understand the same with a requirement of 100 PCs. So there is some confusion going on for the first range, and people are just getting confused in the number of hosts. So the thing is that if you take the very first IP into the count, the number of IPs will be 65. And let's say for 200.10.10.0, if we add 64 here, then you get 10.64. But at the same time, the thing which we are missing on is in this 64, the 01 is also being included. Since the value is 0, you don't find any difference in the number. But in this range, if you count the number of IPs, the IP will be 65 because 10.0 is also being included. And after that, 10.1 will be there, then 10.2 till 10.64. No worries, Neeraj. You guys can post your doubts. I am here to only help you guys to get this uh, clear to you. So I hope now you guys are clear on this part. Why we are like taking the range from 10.0 to 10.63 and not 64. Because when we take 64, the number of IPs actually being there is 65 IPs. Is it fine now? Great. Perfect. So for those who were getting some difficulty in understanding this, I saw this from Ranjan. Ranjan, is it clear now? Great, great, perfect. So now let's take another example for 100 PCs and understand this more accurately. Meanwhile, I would request those who already know the answers for this, who know what subnet would be there. I would request you to please not post the same in the group as it creates some confusion to those who are learning this for the very first time. And yeah, so let's take another example for 100 PCs now. Now let's say we have a requirement of 100 PCs. Then in that case, we will just quickly look at the table and we see that the 7 bits will be required for the host part. And when we look at the default distribution of network and host bit, we have 24 here and 8 here. We'll just simply subtract 7, we get 1. We will give this one to the network part and network will become 25 and host will become 7. So now we have when we so for this requirement we need 25 bits of network and 7 bits of host. Now one thing is very clear that if we calculate the subnet mask for this, let's quickly get the subnet mask. If we calculate the subnet mask, so for the first 3 octets, which are there for 8 bits, then again 8 bits, then again 8 bits. This will be same as default. So what is the default subnet mask for class C? The 255.255.255. These 24 bits are being completely used by the network part. Then after that, we have 1 bit from the host part, which is now being included by the network part. And the rest of them are still the host. Now, for this one, we can simply turn the first bit on and we get 28. So here is your subnet mask ready for your distribution of IPs. Now, if we look at the number of number of networks which will be there, then we have 2 raised to the power 1, which is 2. So there will be only 2 ranges which can be used for the distribution of IPs. Now let's look at the ranges which are there. The ranges will be from 200.10.10.0 to 200.10.10.127. Then after that, 200.10.10.128 till 200.10.10.255. So these are the 2 ranges which you can use for distributing the IP address to 100 pieces. And in only this is the case where the least wastage would be there. So is it clear now? Shall we do another example for the same class? Let me know if anybody has some doubts so that we can check on this, or we shall just move ahead. Okay, so for the number of networks, you just have to, what you have to do is, you just have to put the number of borrowed bits on the power of 2. So the number of bits which are being borrowed here, when we look at the default distribution, it is 24 and 8. However, we borrowed 1 bit from the host part and we gave the bit to the network part. So 1 bit is being borrowed and we will just put the same in the power of 2 and you get 2. In the previous case, 2 bits were being borrowed, then we used 2 as the power of 2 and the result we got was 4. So in the case of more than 200 PCs, you just don't have to do the subnetting. You can use the whole IP range for the same. As if we extend the master formula to 2 raised to the power 8, you get 256, which is the whole range of an IP address. So you just don't have to do subnetting in this case. You can simply use the range completely for the PCs. Correct, very correct, Sunam. In the case of 500 hosts, you cannot do the subnetting for class C, as the maximum number of hosts which you can like assign to which you can assign IP address is 256. You just have to move to class B in that case. So we are borrowing only 1 bit because that's the requirement. We have to look at this according to the question. So in the question, it was given that 100 PCs has to be given the IP address. So we just had a look in the master formula and we saw that 7 bits are the minimum bits which we have to assign to the host so that 100 PCs can get IP addresses, right? And when we take 7 as the host bit, we are left with 1 bit. Since there are 8 bits as default and we are using 7, then we are just left with the 1 bit which we give to the network part, and it is considered as a borrowed. Is this clear now? Why the subnet mask for 50 PCs 192? We have just discussed this, and this was something related to using the bits on the master formula. And when you select the first two bits which were there, you get 192 as the result. However, in this case, only one bit was being borrowed, and now the subnet mask is 255, 255, 255, 128. Okay, I would request you all to please. Okay, why subnet mask? Why? Sorry, got it. Yes, explained. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for the great. Everyone, I guess now is clear with this. If there is anyone with a doubt, you can just simply post. Otherwise, we can move further, and I'll just give you a IP address with the requirement of. Guys, we will look into VLSM in the coming classes. Please don't discuss this as of now, as some people here are very new to all this, and they might get confused because of this. So let's try one. I would request you to keep your notebook and pen ready with you, and I'm giving you a IP range with a requirement of PCs, and you have to just solve the part, and you can post your answers after that. Guys, don't worry about PCs more, the requirement for more PCs than 250 or something. We will look into class B subnetting, class A subnetting after this. Don't worry. Let's first understand the thing which we are doing right now. So we are just learning about class C as of now. And now I am giving you a IP range, which is 192.168.10.0. And the requirement is 25 PCs. Okay. So let me know once you are done. You have to just simply post the subnet mask. You don't have to put the whole solution for this. You have to put the subnet mask for this, and with that you have to put the ranges which will be there. So I'm giving you a few minutes. You can complete it and let me know once you are done. Guys, please post the ranges also with your subnet mask. So let's now solve this and understand how this works. After that, you can verify your answers from this. So the question we had was, we had a range of 192.168.10.0. We had this as our network ID, and there was a requirement of 25 PCs. So when we talk about 25 PC, we'll just quickly have a look at our master formula, and we can find that 32 is the number which is greater and closest to 25. So now when we look at the power of 2, we have 5. So 5 bits of host are required for a distribution of IP address to 25 PCs. Now we will just write the default network and host bits, which are 24 and 8 for class C. We need only 5 out of 8, and the rest of 3 we will give these 3 bits to network. Now the modified one which we have will be 27 and 5. So now for 25 PCs, we only need 5 bits of host, and the rest of them can be used for the network part. Now in this case, 3 bits are being borrowed. I am explaining this now again, and in case if you missed out something, you can look at it now. So the number of networks will be 2 raised to the power borrowed bits, which is 3. We will have 8 ranges. Okay. Then after that, we will move to number of hosts. Number of hosts will be 2 raised to the power number of off bits. Off bits are 5. So we have 32. After that, we have subnet mask. Now in this case, for the first 3 octets which are of 8 bits, the subnet mask will remain same as default, which is 255.255.255, and the third octet is made up of 3 network bits which were borrowed from host, and the rest of them are still the host bits. Now you can simply calculate this 3 on the master formula. You just have to add 128, 64 and 32. When you add them up, you will get 224. So you just have to write 224 here. And this is the subnet mask for the range. Now we will look at the ranges which can be made for these 25 pieces. It will be starting from 192, 168, 10.0 to 10.27. Then after that, 10.28 to, oh, I'm sorry, not 27, it will be 31. So from 10.0 to 10.31, here we have 32 IP addresses, out of which 30 can be used. Then after that, from 32 to 10.63, and from 10.64 to 10.95. Then we have 10.96 to 10.127, and similarly it will go until 10.255. And in each range there will be, I am repeating again, there will be 32 IP addresses. Now in this case, since the number is very small, you can also verify this. If you count 0 as 1 and go until 31, the result will be 32. And in each range there will be 32 hosts, out of which 30 can be assigned, since the first ID is network ID and the last ID is broadcast ID. Now I am quickly moving to class B IP address, and we will see how a requirement of 500 PCs can be fulfilled. So in that case, we will take a IP address of class B. You people can verify your answers. And now we have a IP address from class B. Let's say 150.10.0.0, and we have a requirement for 500 PCs. Now in this case, to check the number of host bit, we will have to extend the master formula until we get something near to 500. Okay. So when I wrote the value of 2 raised to the power, I got 512, which is, I guess, the nearest and the greater one to 500 pieces. So now when it comes to class B, what is the default distribution of network and host bits? It is 16 and 16. Why? Because the prefix is n.n.h.h, and each octet is of 8 bits. Now we have 16 bits available there for host, out of which the number which we require is 9. 9 bits are required. So we will subtract 9. We have 7. We will give this 7 to the network part. And now the network part will become 23 and the host part will become 9. Now if we calculate the number of networks which can be made out of these, it will be 2 raised to the power 7, which will be 128. So this is going to be a huge distribution, and you don't have to write all the ranges. We will just simply use the first few ranges. Then number of hosts, 2 raised to the power of bits, which is 9. we have 512. Then after that, we will calculate this subnet mask. Now let me remind you, the subnet mask for default class B range is 255.255.0.0. But in this case, since we have 23 network bits, now you can see 8 bits are being covered here. Then again we have 8 here, which calculates to 16. And the rest of 7 bits are borrowed from the host part in the third octet. So the first 7 bits will be turned on. Then the last octet is 0. Now if you check the own bits, which represents the network part, are 23, 8 for the first octet, then again 8 for the second octet, then 7 in this octet. And when we look at the host part, then we have 9 bits as off. So we will just quickly calculate the value for these 7 bits. We'll start putting 1 from 2 raised to the power 7, which is our master formula for calculating the value of bits. So we will use 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, then 2, but not 1. We know that this whole sums up to 255. Then we will just, instead of adding all these, we just simply subtract the 1 and we get 254 as our result. So we know the value of 7 bits now. It's 254. And with that, we also get our subnet mask for the range. We have here 254, then we have 0. This is the subnet mask for this distribution of 500 PCs. Then now we will look at the range. Now here comes a tricky part, and I want you guys to please focus instead of posting answers. Okay. So now the range will be can be calculated with the example by keeping something in mind, that the very first range of IP can be from 0.0 okay, let me help you understand this with a trick you can use to find the range, and you just have to subtract the subnet mask, the subnet mask from 256. So the last octet which is being modified, you just have to subtract it from 256. You will get the distribution of IPs. So you get 2.0. And now you can keep this thing in mind as taking it as 2 different rooms. Let's say this is room 1 and this is room 2. So 2.0 will be the level at which the IP range would start for room number 2. And if we think about the IP address before 2.0, it will be 1.255. So this will be the range of IP 512 IPs, which can be used for the distribution of 500 PCs. Now, if I write the range, it will be 150.10.0.0 to 150.10.1.255. Is it clear to you guys? So what you have to do basically, you have to subtract 250. You have to subtract the modified octet from 256 to get the. Okay, yes, not clear. Okay, I am waiting for a few more responses. Sure. So if you don't want to learn this using this room 1, room 2 thing, you can simply think about the IP addresses which are there. Okay, let me just explain you again. Let's just forget about the room thing and we will do this again. The first range will be 150 to 10.0.0. Now, if we take the last octet, which is .0 till 255, this is not the correct first range. I am just giving you example. If we take this till 255, here in this case, we are done with 256 addresses, right? Make sense? Great. Now, after this 255, the octet number 3 will be changed and the range will become, sorry guys. Now the range will become 150.10.1.0 to 150.10.1.255. Is it clear now? So this is the part of 256 addresses, and again this is the second part of 256 addresses. So what I did in the last case which we just discussed, I wrote the complete range from 150.10.0.0 to 150.10.1.255, and it's your choice whether you want to calculate this in this by using this method or the one I shared before, the room thing. You can just, I mean, the main motive was to make you think about assigning IP addresses. Imagine about assigning IP addresses in a lab with 500 pieces. So it will make this much easier for you if you take it as a real example. So it's clear now. Great. So now I want you guys to do one for me and let's see how it goes. Are you guys ready? Okay. So we still have the same IP 150.10.0.0 and I want you to do this for um, 1000 pieces. You don't have to calculate all ranges, just like we did. We just calculated the first range, as there will be a huge number of ranges in the class B, and you don't have to write them all. You can simply write the first 2 or 3 ranges with the subnet mask. You have 5 minutes, and let me know once you are done in the chat. Okay, I hope everyone is done, and let's see the answer now. Let's calculate the same and you guys can verify your answers from that. So we have a IP range, IP network ID of 150.10.0.0. Now we will quickly look at the formula which we discussed. The formula at 2 raised to the power 7 was 128. Then we will move further. At 2 8 it is 256. Then at 2 9 it is 512. Then if we go to 2 raised to the power 10, we have 1024, which I guess is something which we need. And with this, we are clear that 10 bits of host are required for a requirement of 1000 pieces. At least 10 bits of host has to be there. So we will just have a look at the default distribution, which is 16 16. We need only 10. we get 6 as remainder, and we will give this 6 to network part. Now network is of 22 and host is of 10. If we look at the default subnet mask, then it is 255.255.0.0, which is 1111 dot, then again 81, which are the network parts, then 8 zeros, then again 8 zeros. This is the default subnet mask for class B IP address. However, we only need 10 bits of host. 8 are here. We will keep 2 bits in this octet, and rest of them will be network bits. So we will turn them up, and we get 1111 and 11. So 00. So this is our modified subnet mask. We can call it as the subnet mask we require for 1000 pieces, so that least wastage can be done for the IP addresses. Now we will calculate the value of these 6 bits, which will be 128, then 64, 32, 16, so we have 6 bits. We will turn on the first 6 bits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the value which you get after adding them up is 252. Either you can add them up, or you can simply subtract this from 255, which is 3. So 255 for the first one, then again 255, then 252, then 0. This will be the subnet mask. Now let's look at the range and see how it works. So to calculate the range, you can use the 256 thing, and when you subtract 252.0 from 256, you get 4.0. So this will be this, you can call it as a range of distribution for class B IP address. So IP will start from 10.0.0 and will go until 10.3.255. This will be the first range. So you can use this thing either, or you can just simply go from 10.0.0 till 0.255. Then after that 1.0 to 1.255 and so on, and can calculate 256 for this, then again 256, then again 256, then after that again 256. This will sum up to 1024. So you can just go until 4 ranges and can calculate the first range beginning from 0.0 to 3.255. It will go until 3.255. So you can use either way. That's your choice. And this is how the classes will be distributed. The ranges will be distributed for a requirement of 1000 pieces. Okay, so anyone who was not able to solve this or have any doubt related to this, let me know. Otherwise, we can move further to class A subnet. Perfect. So let's try a few examples of class A also before we end the class. And sure, great. Let me just erase this quickly. So I hope now you guys are clear how we can use the same IP address for the distribution of IPs to different number of PCs. Like we discussed, at the very beginning that there is a building with different floors. At first floor, there is requirement of 50 PC. Okay, so let me know what is the doubt, and so that I can help you able to understand this. Yes, guys, this can be only okay. You need practice in this. That's not a thing. But I hope you guys are able to understand how this is working and how you can distribute the IP range to number of PCs. No worries, Abhijit. I'm having problem understanding this. Don't worry, we can repeat this also. But the thing is that if it is about practicing, then that's your part. You have to do this. And if it is about the concept, then I can repeat myself. Let me know if the issue is related to concept. Otherwise, we can move ahead with class A. Don't worry, guys. I will put question on the group itself, and you can practice them before coming to the class tomorrow. Sure, sure. So let me repeat myself with another example for class B only. Then after that, we will see if we get time. We will look into class A. Otherwise, we can do it tomorrow also. There's no rush, and no worries. We can do another example for class B. Let's do example of 2000 pieces now. So let's say we have a IP address of 130. Yeah, no issues. We can do another example for class B. We still have time, and we will look into class A, let's say for tomorrow. And we use 50 PC using class B. Yes, you can use 50 PCs, but again, for that, in that case, no one will choose a IP address from class B. In that case, you will obviously choose a IP address from class C, as the number of hosts is very less, and you can simply use this IP address from class C and can subnet it accordingly. So we are taking another example for 2000 PCs now, and we will take this very slowly. And for those who are facing some issues in understanding this, can keep your focus here now. And I hope you guys will be able to understand this now. So now we have a IP address. Let's say there is a IP network ID of 130.10.0.0. So this is a class B IP, and we are required to distribute this IP to 2000 PCs. If we talk about the number of hosts available there in this IP range, it will be 2 raised to the power 16, which is something near to 65,000. 65,356, I guess. I'm not pretty sure. It is around 65,000. And if we assign the whole range to these 2000 PCs, so there will be a huge wastage of 63,000 IPs. So to avoid this wastage, we are using the concept of subnetting. We are modifying the default subnet mask, and yeah, 65,535. Okay. So yes, something near to 65,500. You can look into that later. So to avoid this wastage of 63,000 IPs, we do the subnetting. Now we have to use this IP address for 2000 IPs, for 2000 pieces. So we will just have a look at our formula and we'll see where is the number nearest and greater to 2000. So it is for 2 raised to the power 11, which is 2048. Is it clear till now? I want Abhijit to answer this. And okay, yes, great. Perfect. So we will keep this simple and understandable. So we know that 2 raised to the power 11 is something where we are able to satisfy the requirement, where we are able to satisfy the requirement of 2000 IPs. Now, when we look at the default distribution of network and host bits in class B, it is 16 and 16. And how we get to know about this? We know that the prefix for class B is n.h.8. n.h.h, which means 16 bits of network and again 16 bits of host. And if we take the whole 16 bits for host, we get the same 65536 host, which is again a wastage of 63,000 IPs. So it's just a approx figure. So to avoid this wastage, what we are doing here is we are simply taking the 11 bits, which is the least we can take for a requirement of 2000 PCs. So we are taking the 11 bits. We are taking 11 bits out of this, and the rest of 5 bits will be used as network bits. So now the network and host will look something like this: 21 and 11. Is this clear? Great. Perfect. Yes, correct. Well, 21 network bits and 11 host bits. Now after this, once we have the bits of network and host, we can simply calculate the subnet mask. The subnet default mask of class B is 255.255.0.0. So if we talk about the subnet mask, it is 255.255.0.0. In this case, 8 bits are being used here, then again 8 bits. Then we have 8 bits for host, and in this octet also 8 bits for host. However, now the modified case is 21 bits for network. In this case, 16 bits are already there. After that, we need 5 bits from this octet as a network part. And we know that we have to keep the network bits as on. We will just put 111 for every network bit. Then we have 5 bits which are borrowed from the host part to the network part, and the rest of 3 bits are still 0. Is it clear now? Till now, I want yes, and so that I can go ahead. Perfect. So now we will just simply calculate the subnet mask. We know the 8 bits, which are from 2 raised to the power 7 to 2 raised to the power 0, sums up to 255. Then again we have 255. Then in this case, we have only 5 bits as on. So we'll keep the first 5 bits as on, which are 128, 64, 32, 16, and 8. We will keep these 3 bits as off, which are the part of host. So when you add them up, you will get 248. Then we have all 0, so we will put a 0. This is the subnet mask. Now we have the subnet mask. We have the number of hosts required. Now we will look into how we can calculate the range. Okay, so how we get 248 is we just have calculated the value of on bits. Yes, so there were 5 bits which were on. So we are taking the value of on bits. I hope you remember we discussed yesterday how the value can be calculated from this master formula, which is there from 2 raised to the power 0 to 2 raised to the power 7. Yes, so we are using the same thing to calculate the value of first 5 bits. We have taken 128, the first bit, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. When you add these together, when you add 128, 64, 32, 16, and 8, you get 248. Is it clear now? Perfect. So we have the subnet mask with us. We have the requirement with us. Now we will move ahead to find out the range. So how can we find the range? First, we have to know the number of hosts there. So the number of hosts is 2 raised to the power of bits. So how many of bits are there? There are 11 of bits, right? Which is 2048. 2 raised to the power 11 is 2048. So this is where this formula helps. You don't have to calculate everything again and again. You can just simply write this somewhere near to your calculation book, and you can just refer to this formula whenever you need any value. So now we have the number of hosts which has to be there in the range. Now we will move ahead to the range part. Okay. So the first range will be 130.10.0.0 to 130.10.7.255. This will be the first range. Now to find this out, you can either use the thing which I told you about, the 256 minus the last modified octet, which is 248. You get 8 as your answer, 8.0, right? Either you can use this method, or you can simply just think about this in your mind and can move ahead with creating the range. Is it clear now? So after this, the range will move ahead from 130.10.8.0, 130.10.15.255, and so on till 10.255.255. So then again after this, it will be 10.16.0 to 130.10.23.250. Perfect. So we are almost done with the class C and class B subnetting, and we will discuss about class A subnetting in tomorrow's class, and we'll look into it in case if you still have any doubt. Okay. How to get, okay. So you just simply, you can just calculate by keeping things in mind. The first range has to be, okay. So the question we have is how to get 7.255. Okay. So you are asking me how to get the first range, or how to know whether the range shall end at 7.0 or something. So in that case, you can simply use your subnet mask, where you have the subnet mask for this was 255.255.242.0. So what I am telling you to do is simply subtract the octet which you have modified from 256. The answer you get is the range of IP addresses. So it will begin from 0.0, and the next part of the range will begin from 8.0. So this is the difference between two ranges. Okay, I'm sorry. This is 248. So this was the subnet mask. You can just simply subtract this subnet mask from 256, and you will get the difference between ranges. You see, the first range is starting from 0.0 and the next one is starting from 8.0. Now again, if you just add this 8.0 to 8.0, you get the starting of the next range, which is 16.0. So you can either use this, or you can just calculate by keeping one thing in mind, that there are only 256 hosts. Then after 255, the the range will go from 0.0 to 255. Then after this, it will go to 1.0. You can calculate this in either this way or by using this thing. So we know that the difference between two ranges will be 8.0. There will be a difference of 8.0 between two ranges, and the IP before 8.0 will be 7.255. So after 7.255, you get 8.0. Then this will range until this will go till 15.255, and after that we have 16.0. So the network number of networks which are there can be calculated by 2 raised to the power number of borrowed bits, and we borrowed around 5 bits in this case. If you remember, we subtracted 11 from 16 and 5 bits were given to the network part. So these 5 bits has to be the power of 2, and the answer you get is 32. So if you keep creating ranges from 0.0 to 7.255, then after that 8.0 to 15.255, you can create these ranges, 32 ranges of these IPs of these. Like you can create 32 ranges like this. One, then you have two, then from 16 to 23.255. Third one, you can go like this until 32. You can create 32 ranges out of this class B IP address. So is it clear to you guys now? Does it make sense? Oh, perfect. Great, great. So what you can guys do is you can try practicing this by choosing any IP address. And so the application is nothing different in real life. You just simply put this modified subnet mask instead of the default subnet mask. We discussed a few, I guess, in the first class, that when we write a IP address, let's say for class C, if we write the IP address 192.168.10.1, with that we use the default subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. So in case if you are just doing subnetting, in that case you will use the subnet mask which you have solved. Is it clear now? So let me show you the same in the IP packet tracer. Yes, we will not look into class D and E since it is not for our use. D is and E are reserved and is not available there for public use. So when you take a PC and click on it, like we did in the last class, when you go to IP configuration, you get an option to put IP address. So let's say we took the IP address 192.168.10.1, and when you click enter, you see the default subnet mask is there. And in case if you want to do subnetting, you can just simply use the subnet mask which you have received after solving the distribution of IPs. So let's say you get 255.255.255.128. You can put that, and in that case, the IP range will be different. So is it clear now? This is how it works in real life. Great. Perfect. So I want you guys to practice some of these before coming to the next class, which is tomorrow at the same time, 5 p.m. according to the Indian Standard Time. And so that you can have a better understanding of this, you can practice any IP address from class C and from class B. Then after that, we will look into the class A IPs in the tomorrow's class. So that was all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the session, and thank you for your time. Thanks for joining in.